the restart of a previous attempt because of technical difficulties that happened 15 minutes ago. So I want to welcome you to today's presentation because I have with me the Galactic Council of Light, who came in to say that the energies are going to be getting more intense on this planet. We have the opportunity to find the truth within us. A lot of the things going on in the world around us are not in harmony with who we truly are. So really finding and discovering the truth within you is important. That you know within you what is true and what is false. They were very clear on this point. There is a distinction between what is true and what is false, and you know this in your heart. Much of what has occurred in your world in the last 130 years have been designed to teach you that what is true is false and what is false is true. And you must learn to now go within to make that distinction for yourself and not to depend on things outside of yourself to know this. That is true. You will feel and know that which is true within yourself. I'm going to use an example from my childhood that was really important for me personally. That was, I went through a period of abuse as a child. And in the beginning, I resisted the abuse. And I was forced to accept the abuse through my childhood. After a period of time, though I did not like it, I had to accept it, even though I knew it was wrong. So I was trained as a child that what was right was wrong and what was wrong was right. And humanity, they're telling me humanity, a large percentage of humanity has been conditioned in the same fashion, that to believe that that which is true is false and that which is false is true. And it is time to come back to the knowing within yourself, the knowing that is within yourself, that you will find that which is true once again. They're saying your sensitivity to what is true and false is still intact. Your sensitivity to what is true and false is still intact within you. They say it's important to learn to quiet your senses from this world, to go within where you can feel that which is true and that which is false as a knowing. When you know the truth, you do not require evidence from this world to support that which you know is true. If you believe you require evidence from outside of yourself to know the truth, then it is possible you could be misled. But you will know, for when you hear or feel or experience the truth within you, there will be no question, because your feeling, not your emotion, your feeling will validate the distinction between what is true and what is false. We have given this one and others knowledge and information to share with you that offers you the opportunity to cultivate or recultivate that inner awareness that is you, that knows that which is true from that which is false. But always the truth resides within you. This world around you is ever changing. The events of time, space, and matter are ever changing. But there is a place in your heart that is eternal, immortal, that distinguishes the good from that which is not good. And you have that same distinction within you to make that discernment. Your Creator, who is within you, has that, and it is yours. For you are His, and He is yours. I'm just asking them now why they tend to refer to the power as He, this Creator intelligence. They're telling me that it is a language that you most understand, but you may substitute the word He for she, or it, or being, or spirit, or light, or love. Whatever term resonates with you inside yourself, you shall name this. But we choose He as a general point of understanding, a localized point in infinite intelligence that works through all things simultaneously. There are some in this world that believe that they can work beyond this intelligence, that they can somehow operate contrary to its law and rule of being. Uh, the the distance between yourself and your creator is no distance at all, but there are many that seek to act as if they are the creator itself, but all is the creator. But there are some that think they have greater license than others. But today, we do not wish to get into these externals, but we wish to remind you that this truth of what is true for you and what is false for you is within you. Mostly that which is generating fear inside your body is false. That which generates release, relax, and ease in your body can be considered true. That which operates against your well-being, your body knows, for it has evolved on this planet far longer than many of you souls. Your body has experienced all creation from the very first organism to now, and we have watched you. We have watched you in your awareness as you went from particle to form that you are in now. We have watched you evolve, and we are now here to supervise this transition in consciousness from that of the simple biological organism to that of the multidimensional consciousness that is what you are becoming. There are things in this world that need to happen in order for you to move inwardly, to come back home, if you like, to unite with the all-giving source within you. From this perspective of being in alignment with this all-giving source within you, we continue to stress within you, because this is where you must understand that all your being resides there. That you are simply practicing the use of these energies of your source energy. They're saying if you are patient enough, not with this world, but within yourself, if you are patient enough within yourself, able to let go of this worldly self, the self that is made up, the self that is noisy, the self that is distracted, the self that is stimulated, if you are able to go within, into the stillness of your being, you will find alignment with us and many others, and you are with us in that place. You will see a very different world unfolding in the coming months as a result of this return to this place of stillness within you, where nothing can harm nor distract you, but from which you can be aware of all things. The experience of your being is of greater value than the experience of this world. For the experience of your being brings forth a new world. And this new world is something that your mind, as you've been conditioned to think you are, cannot conceive, express, nor experience. We find ourselves meeting some resistance from this one here, who has a lot of questions about why things are unfolding on the world as they are. And you can get into the understandings and misinterpretations of the information in this world. And there are many things in this world, many ideas, many beliefs, as diverse as there are the organisms on this planet. But there is a unified place within yourself that knows and understands the full respect that may be extended to all life from a perspective of unity within to one's source. This source manages the economy of your body, but it does not currently manage the economy of your world. This is what you have been aspiring to do, and there are some among you that have learned to manage the economy of this world. And having learned to manage this, have demonstrated your ability to creatively utilize the intelligence of the infinite in a creative way. We do not see things in terms of things being done to, for, or at the expense of one or the other. We see things unfolding creatively for the expansion and extension of infinite intelligence into a higher expression of itself in time, space, and matter. As you watch your species begin to move out into the stars, then you will begin to understand that this planet is simply a seed of consciousness from which has grown the human expression, and the human expression from which something else now is emerging that will move among the stars. Just as you watch the seeds of a flower go into the skies, so too does the expression of consciousness in form do likewise. You may look at any plant or any animal and see its growth. Consciousness as a human is very different in that respect. It is not restricted to this planet. As you can see, you begin to move beyond it. And not all of you will do this, for the stem of the flower merely supports it. And that which goes forth from it goes forth from it. This cycle has repeated itself on this planet. What do you mean by that? We mean the cycle of humanity. It rises and it falls. From seed to growth to germination. And we've watched this cycle repeat timelessly in terms of your human lifespans in those individual bodies. But this has gone on throughout all of creation, even in what we would classify as the planets that we have organized through and from. We are here with many others in consciousness for those who are able to relinquish the limitations of their self, connect to that which is the light within, the love within, and then to shine that outward, not to produce deliberate or intentional change in matter, time, or space, because that naturally happens when you do shine your light. When you are being what you are being, you are, as a natural effect, organizing your earthly affairs. And you will not have to be concerned about your earthly affairs, but you must become concerned about your inner affairs. What shall you be within you? What are you being within you? As you liberate yourself from this, then what will unfold in this world will be far more than what you can even conceive of in the mind that you currently use to try and understand things. The mind that was constructed by your senses is not an accurate tool for measuring your growth or change, but your experience of your being is an accurate mechanism for understanding your growth and change as a being. But know that all of you that are aware of our presence, all of you that are aware of your being as a separate and distinct consciousness, independent of the form, but operative of it. In other words, you can operate it, but you also know that you are not the vehicle, but the driver. From that perspective, you will know us by the vibration, by the sensation, by the experience of energy that will always expand you when it is based in growth and well-being, and contract you when it is not. You move from determining your reality from your senses to determining your reality by the quality of the energy of which you can be aware. But many of you must learn to break from your attachment to senses to understand what we naturally know from within ourselves, and you naturally know within yourself, if you are so inclined to be aware of that. When we started this on the idea that the truth within you, the truth within you is what you are, not what you have. And when we say what you have, we mean body and material things. They are simply instruments, but they are not what you are. These instruments are amenable to what you are being, and what you are being is a choice of what you will give your awareness to. The ability for you to be aware of the awareness that is you and to deliberately change the quality of your awareness is the liberation from time, space, and matter that gives shape and form to it. To it, we mean time, space, and matter. The quality of your awareness as a feeling. So you will be presented with things in this world that will be disturbing. You will even be given things in your mind that will be disturbing. But you are not to be disturbed by it. You are to make a distinction in your awareness from that which you observe, so that as the observer, you may begin to assert a new manifestation of your being in this world, which is unfolding. You call it the ascension, and the ascension is a vibration that even giving a language to it, providing a word to it, can create some confusion, but your experience of it will let you know that which is true and that which is false. You will know that which is true from that which is false, that which is you within, that you that we delight in communicating to at this time and in many other times and in times yet to come, that you that recognizes there is a distinction creatively between this world and your awareness. This you is without limit and does not have to accept the precepts, ideas, and invitations of others in this world that would seek to restrict you from the limitless potential that is you. There is nothing in this world that you can be subjected to unless you so surrender yourself to it. So go within and be in the silence of your knowing that you are not the thought, not of this world, but that you are of a great family of awareness, of being, of creation and creating, that is dancing in the play of change that you observe with your senses in this world. But there is one truth that is for you from within, and you may dance or you may sing, you may make laws, you may be what you may choose to be in that body that you find yourself in, but you ultimately are free to choose that which you will be or not be. Do not let others make that choice for you. Do not surrender your choice to others to be what you know you need to be from within you. We are with all of you, even those that are not present here. We are with them also. We watch. We will use the term like a mother or father watching their children grow. And we struggle to find words that fit an understanding you can comprehend. But even this term of mother and father is restricting in understanding fully the relationship, the connection, the, the, the bliss in which we coexist uh, cannot be described, but must and can be felt. And we encourage you to go within, to feel that place beyond time and space where the word love may be used, exists, and bonds us all together as it does through all of creation. But you must elect to go there in awareness and consciousness and to live as you are in that, and then allow that which you are in that to be that um, point from which you extend your life to this world as a creative expression. And there are many. You are not the only species or the only planet that we are currently interacting with at this time. There are countless others. We are but a small segment of a very large integrated collection of consciousness, you would say. We struggle, even though this one has much knowledge information, we still struggle to find the proper words to define something that your mind has difficulty understanding as an experience until you've had it. But once you have the experience of your connectivity to us, without there being an us or a you, that condition that you've been calling a unified field, from that place, language is unnecessary, for knowing is direct. Language is unnecessary, and knowing is direct in what you are being when you are being that which you are, and not lost in the expression of your own creative self, the manifestation of your being. Many of you are trapped in the manifestation and forgotten that you are the manifester. From the perspective of that being that is the creative one, you would understand this knowing of which we speak. And many of you are already coming to this. Mm-hmm. And it is our goal to remain with you until this new manifestation unfolds in your physical dimension. For you are unfolding it, all of you collectively, whether you may call one good or bad or one right or wrong, you are all collectively unfolding a creation in this dimension. But you are not the creation, you are the creator of it. And we watch curiously and eagerly as to what the end result will be, even though we know what it will be. You must know for yourself. Our presence here seeks to give light to that which you already know, but from which you are distanced in the darkness of the shadows of your creation. You must come out of the shadows of your creations into the light of your being, and then you will find that you have always been free, as is everyone. Thank you. Okay, they'll take questions now. Wow, um, guys, thank you. I don't know if the sound has been working or what, but that was pretty amazing to me, and I hope it took this time. Wow. Again, thank you for those of you that have stuck by this today. I know this has been really, really, really fascinating today. Understanding, again, I'm just kind of overwhelmed because the distinction between my finite self, this William package that I find myself having been in for what we call in Earth terms 60 years, this finite self that I've been in is different than who I am. Just as the finite self that you are in that physical body is not representative of who you are, but this is an extension of that. And then the William part, the mind part, is another extension, but who I am is behind that. Who you are is behind that. Anyway, very fascinating. Let's get into questions and see what we got here. Welcome everybody and good morning again. I apologize for the initial technical difficulties. They said they would when they bring these higher frequency energies through, when these they call them pivot points in awareness and being, that when we get to those places where we pivot from a finite to a more broader perspective of consciousness, that it actually affects this dimensional energy electromagnetically, which is why they said the technical difficulty is happening. We are electromagnetically bringing higher frequencies through now. All of us are. We're opening up to that from within. They're saying you won't. The highest frequency of light and love that you will find is within you. It's not in this world. There are those in this world who can stimulate your awareness of that which is within you, and those that can stimulate that which is right within you are not to be followed. You are to follow that which they point the light towards, which is within yourself. They were saying this to me. So those things and people and events that show you joy or love within you and reveal to you your limitless being. It is not who tells you to go there, but it is where you are within yourself. Yes. They're saying the one that you call Master Jesus never sought to get you to worship him, but he sought to point the way to the light within you. And this is very important, for we have not come in form as you would understand it. We have not come in form for this very reason. Although we communicate through some, we did not manifest and will not manifest our form, for it would distract you from the very thing that we seek to bring you towards, which is within you. Many of you are still too attached to your senses to be able to step back from them enough to know of what we speak in regards to who you are in relation to this unity that we all exist in. Wow. But yes, so understanding there's a lot in this world that is we call good and evil, and it's important that you understand what is true, what is false within you, not from what you've been taught. Because I know from personal experience that I was forced to believe that what the wrong that was being done to me was right, and that the things that I knew were right were wrong. I knew it was right to not have somebody, an adult male in this case, assaulting me. I knew that was not right as a child. I knew it was not right, but through force and threat, that individual convinced this little child that I was then to believe that my right was not okay and that their wrong was. And it took me a number of years to unravel. And a lot of people that go through sexual abuse, substance abuse, are people that have been struggling with this concept that what is right is wrong and what is wrong is right. There is a distinction that our social conditioning has predisposed us to believe, that what is wrong is right, what is right is wrong. And anybody who's gone through abuse will understand what I'm saying. Anybody who's gone through an addiction that's overcome it will know that they too were lost in a belief that something that they thought was right one time was actually wrong for them. And our senses can deceive us that way, right? Thank you, guys. The energy for these beings, I got to tell you that there is absolutely this profound love that exists as what we are. That the masters and the angels and the guides and the guardians that are present here, the galactic federations, the councils of light, the federations from many dimensions that are coming here, they do not view us as less than them. They are trying to get us to recognize that we are equal to them, and this has to be a shift in consciousness that we have to make, collectively and individually. They're saying we don't. Yeah, they're saying we don't all have to do that, but it's better if you do collectively. But each of you individually may choose to align yourself to that which we are in alignment with. The creative journey is much more delightful and exciting when you are not in the reality that suffering is more real than joy. Yeah, and I got to tell you, I used to believe that suffering was more real than joy. Question from Drusilla. Any message for me? They're just saying, this is, if you If you have heard this, then you will understand that the message is who you are, to know that what you are seeking to know in your own heart by asking us this question, that which you seek in hope to find from us is within you. And if you delicately turn inward, uh, even to what you call your physical heart, if you turn yourself inward to this place and ask the same question, you will feel your own light bathing your mind in its truth. Wow. Thank you, Drusilla. Wow. Question from Tanya. How can I become more aware of Smiling Wolf working with me? Is there a special feeling or sign to recognize him or them? Again, your body can only interpret. I'll speak. Yes, your body can only interpret us on the level at which it currently exists, which you call sensation of the body. This buzzing, this tingling, these sensations in your head, around your body. Your body can interpret the vibrations of your essence only from a level it's at. We would suggest that you step back from the physical sensation and go inward. Go inward to this place in the space in the middle of your head, where there is a unique organ there, a most recent organ in the development of your species that allows you to be aware of the things that are beyond what your senses will tell you. Go into this space and feel what is in there, not what is in your hands or in your feet, but in the space in between. They're referring to the pineal gland, which is a specialized organ in our body. Because like everybody else here, I can feel my body like buzzing intensely with energy right now. It's like this intense vibration of energy. That's a manifestation of what I am. And as I turn my attention inward, the more I go inward to this point that they're talking about in the middle of I feel this. I actually feel like a light, a joyness, a freedom in experiencing of awareness rather than sensation. So yes, so going from that place of sensation to awareness of being, they're saying some of you may have difficulty in this transition, but please understand there is a difference between the sensation and your awareness of being. Your attachment to sensation prevents you from being engaged with the awareness of the being that is generating the sensation. And we were all united in that sensation, but we are divided by the sensation. So it is important you understand how to move into the being that you are that generates the sensation, and then remain in the being of being and step back from the sensation, so that you remove the layers of separation from ourselves. Oh, thank you. Miriam's asking, is the peacock that showed up for me a spirit guide or representation of my higher self? They're laughing. They're saying, we are. It gives us great joy to see that you have learned how to creatively manifest the symbols that you require to guide you back inwardly. The beauty that you generated as that manifestation is that which you are within. Again, many of you seek these signs and symbols beyond your eyes and ears in this world. But please, let us remind you that as you become more mindful, that the symbols that show up, that you have generated, are the symbols you yourself have given to bring you back to the being of that which you are, the beauty that that symbol represented. Go inwardly. Remember the sensation of your being at the perception of the symbol. In this case, you mentioned this creature called a peacock. The joy, the sensation you felt in your being, not with your senses. Forget what you saw, but be what you felt, for that is what you are. And that symbol was simply the mirror that you put out there to bring yourself back home to that which you are. And all of you do this frequently, and we know that this is a simple part of your learning process of getting yourself back to yourself. But try not to be lost in the sensation of the senses, but be reminded that those things in this world will either draw you into yourself or out from yourself. You did not come here to suffer. You came here to be in the beauty of your being, extending that into the world creatively. Those of you that are lost will need these symbols to be reminded of the vibration of your own being that is creating them in the first place, so that you can remember. It sounds like a paradox, but it is not. This one knows now, by the nature of what she's feeling in relation to what we have said about this symbol, this peacock, she can feel now her own inner vibration of being. If she remains in that state of the being of beauty, she will open up more to that which she is within herself. And when you open up to that which is more of what you are within yourself, you bring that forth into this world creatively. But all that you see in this world is an extension of what you are. But it's also, you do not need to accept symbols that would diminish you, for you have those also. We recommend that you remember that which truly represents the limitlessness of your being. Thank you. Thank you, Mary, for great question. Let's see. Question from Miriam. Any message on why this group here was born on the time of COVID-19? Thank you. Yes, this manifestation that you have collectively generated, again, comes back to the conditions of a manifestation. Does it bring you closer to that which you are, or does it take you farther from that which you are? You must choose. Each of you must choose. Those of you that will believe in the suffering will suffer further. Those that you believe that this is not true, that the joy of what you are is greater than all suffering. In fact, when you are in the joy of your being, there can be no suffering. It does not exist. The reason so many of you have joined in this is that there are so many of you now that have the opportunity to choose whether you will continue with the paradigm of suffering in time, space, and matter as you manifest it, or will you choose to surrender this? Will you choose to instill a love and joy and the fearlessness of your own creative power over matter, time, and space? Or will you remain subjected to the distancing that your senses provide you from that which you are? It is a collective choice as much as it is an individual choice. Again, you are free to interpret and the meaning of the world around you, the symbols that you have manifested, in a light that will either bring you closer to that which you are in limitless creation, or further from it into limited being. And although you can never be separate from the limitlessness of what you are, you can, by perception, make the error that you can be. But we know that this is not true. But many of you at this time, on a great scale around this whole planet, are now coming to this place of challenging what is true and what is false in terms of what you are. And you must make that decision. We cannot make that decision for you individually nor collectively. We can simply say to you, what is true? Are you a limitless expression of vitality and love and light? Or are you a limited expression of pain and suffering? Neither one of these we would judge, but they are just a choice. And every species, every group has gone through this process of creation as you are in it now. You must be faced with both, in the greatest contrast, that which is true and that which is false. Without both, you cannot make a choice. And you have all individually and collectively chosen this. We are here for those who have chosen to step beyond the limited parameters of this creative expression into the limitless qualities of creative expression. We work on a level often where we are literally manifesting levels of creation that transcend what your senses can even begin to conceive. And many of you, as an awareness, can conceive as possible, but it is not believable to you because you've not experienced it. But we have created entire realms of consciousness, of expression, extensions of ourselves that are unbelievably utopian, as you would say in your language. But you are all here to make individual and collective decisions about who you are going to be and who you're not going to be. Although you will always be at one-ment. What this word you call atonement is coming to that place of at one-ment. And each of you are in this position of choice now. Your ascension is that of awareness, of being. But you have all chosen this. Cool. Great question, by the way, Miriam. Thank you so much. Question from Minaj. Do angels have any advice for me? I'm giggling because of joy. When you ask that question, they issue this vibration of joy. So often you hear me giggling, and because sometimes I'm just feeling their energy. And the joy they feel is that in your question you have acknowledged the existence of that which is beyond your senses. From the very nature of your question, we understand that you yourself are seeking to realize that which you are. The nature of your question explicitly says this. We would ask you to simply hear the vibration of these words if you can understand that question to us, suggests that you are coming towards that which that you are within yourself. If you can find that light in you, rather than seek to affirm the uncertainty that your question maintains in your own awareness, you will liberate yourself from the very uncertainty that your question holds within you. Please understand that you exist in an endless connectivity of love with us. Your true essence is a unified expression of infinite potential and joy. In that we are fully unified. But as an individual extension that you are in right now, you have to come to that awareness within, which is where we began this today. The truth within. The truth within is you. It is that you are this limitless expression of being that has the freedom to be limited in your expression of being, or at least the illusion of limitedness. I'm just laughing because they try to find words to match what the communication is, and it's funny because when they see that a word doesn't match what they're saying, that it's funny. They find it funny that they can't that from their perspective they just know. They just communicate through direct knowing. They don't use thinking like we use thinking, which is why it's very fascinating. Thank you so much, Minaj. Mary's asking, will taking the chakra mastermind class help me determine my truth? Thank you. This thing that you call the mastermind chakra course, it will give you a direction inward, which is always good. But we would remind you again to not get caught up in the sensations that the learning provides you with, but to become aware that these sensations within you that are stimulated by these higher learnings give you the opportunity to reach that sense of elevated awareness that you are within this framework of this world. Use the resources around you not to distract you, but use the resources around you to identify what and who you are as an awareness. What and who you are as an awareness. You will not find freedom in the method or technique, but you will find freedom in the vibration that the method or technique will bring to you. And when you are aware of that higher vibration, of that which makes you feel more expanded, of that which makes you feel more liberated, of that which makes you feel more free, in that awareness of your being, are you liberated. But the method or the technique simply affords you the opportunity to come into contact with the awareness of your own being. From that perspective, then any course or learning that you will engage in, if it serves this function, will be beneficial for you. Wow. Question from Marigold. I need from a question from Christine. What should I be focusing more right now? Feeling exhausted from energy upgrades, but what to do with many things while I'm unemployed? uh, uh, there's please understand that this thing that you call unemployed, simply from our perspective, means that you have not initiated your own creative ability in such a fashion as to manifest your own employment. For you have the skills and knowledge within you to generate the means and ways in which you could exist in this physical dimension quite comfortably. But when you continue to stay harbored in an idea such as unemployment, when you stay harbored in that idea, you will stay harbored in that idea. You tether yourself to that idea. Yet within you, beyond the idea of unemployment, is the understanding of what you love to do and what you love to be, what gives your heart joy. And we would suggest if you engage that as your form of employment and expression, that the idea of employment would become your dominant thing to be tethered to in the expression of this physical world. Um, uh, but untie yourself from these ideas that would restrict you from that which you are. Every thought and idea you hold in your mind can be a tether, but it can also be a place where you know to release yourself from too. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miriam. Wow, it's 11 o'clock. We're going to go till for another 10 minutes because of the technical difficulties. But I want to say to everybody, thank you. I mean, thank you for being so patient and working with this. The challenges of this world are not challenges. When we learn to not let what's out there to become the defining of what we are being. In other words, you might see somebody doing something really terrible in the world, but you don't have to be upset or angry about it. You can just identify that that's an action and expression that you don't agree with, but you can choose to still be in a state or a being of love. And I've experienced some information and things in the last few days that have really would have really upset the old William and sent me on a crusade. And that's because the way the old William used to be. And that's when they came and said, no, this is about you defining who you are being, not what that would make you be. So you must define what you are being. And that's been a really powerful lesson for these last 10 or 12 hours, that we must from within know the truth of what we are being. And I want to thank all of you for joining me on this journey. There are so many beings with us on this planet and around this planet and around the space in which you find yourself right now. There are just so many beings with us all as an energy that you can access and tap into. I feel them all the time. But I like what they said earlier about don't get caught in the sensation of the energy. They said one of the reasons why they taught us to do the courses and classes the way they did is it takes people gradually from being caught in just the body to going within and sensing the connectivity that you have to them as an energy, as a being, that we are one with them. And that's been very exciting. And all of you have been on this journey with us, and it's been amazing. And I look forward to going for more. If you want to know more about our courses and classes, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Take the courses. They'll take you from this world to the creator that you are, right? We get so stuck in little self that we are struggling with the little self all the time. But it's time to go within to get beyond this, and you can learn to do that. And also, please like the video, give it thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share the video, share the information with people so that they can get the truth as they need to get it from their perspective. Question. Oh, you're welcome, Allison. Question from Nicole. Will there be a glorious event of light where there will be no darkness or nighttime for several days? Event. There's great joy in your question. We experience great joy in your question. And the reason we experience this is because this light has always existed. It is what you are. It is from where you derive your creative expression. You are both the creator and the creation. What we hear you speaking of, will there be an actual experience in this physical dimension that you call the extension of night and day? And this event has happened multiple times throughout the growth of your consciousness in this physical dimension. We've observed it. It has not been necessary on one hand, but on another it has. As you come to this place, what you call this pinnacle place in your consciousness, where you must decide one or the other. In that process, you may find there will be what you call a reorganization of matter, because there is a change in matter that you will observe as you observe in your world around you now. When you think or feel a certain way, certain things occur in your world. Collectively, your species is currently struggling with the difference between fear and love. And the differences between these two energies, you play with one at the expense of another, and there's little balance. It's quite the imbalance, and this imbalance will be manifested as a physical change. The events of the interaction between your Earth and the star that your Earth orbits, there will be a relationship change if the imbalance remains, and the imbalance is merely a correction. It provides the incentive for a correction to occur, much the same way as your physical body, when it gets an illness, will go into many processes that seek to correct and restore balance to the body. Well, so too does this planet on which you live energetically go through corrections likewise. But you have the advantage of creatively influencing this now, and have for many tens of thousands of years. From an emotional perspective, your species is influencing the electrical dynamic that alters the manifestation of form. You can go back, there are different terms for it. You can call them polar flips, an electromagnetic change. You can call them a planetary event, an asteroidal bombardment, these terms that you have for these things. But these are not things that happen to you. These are creative effects of the qualities of energy that you choose to manufacture into the expression of this physical dimension. It is not necessary. There was a time when your planet had two suns, and that was changed again because of the electromagnetic creative relationship that you as awareness have with time, space, and matter. There is an approach happening that is a potential that exists, but this is not for several decades that this can unfold. But we watch in excitement, for we know that you will not lose your existence, but you will change the experience of your being in matter, depending on what energies you choose to indulge in consistently and repeatedly, as a species and as individuals. Cool, thank you. Thank you, Nicole, for that question. Louise is asking, is it your true limitless self who is initiating or allowing this channeling, or is it finite expression called William? Thank you. Uh, Now you begin to ponder the realities that exist, um, that are not physical in nature. This one that you call William is simply just a mechanism through which we communicate, as you use all mechanisms that you are in to express what you are creating. The limitlessness of our nature is the limitlessness of yours. And while you express this question through the finite form that you have communicated it in, the very nature of the form in which you committed that question through is the finite expression of your consciousness through the finite mechanism. But your question is also indicative of an awareness that you recognize that we exist and you exist beyond this finite form. So you speak directly to us as a unified field, which is in essential nature yourself as well. This individual one that you call William uh, is an extension of us, as you are an extension of us, and you are us. So your question gives us joy, for you are now looking to understand that which is beyond the form, to connect to that which is what you are beyond your finite identity. This is what your question tells us, that you are reaching out to what you are, and we will and do embrace you as an equal from this perspective. And in your awareness of that embrace, you will feel the even biologically, you will feel that connection at this moment as we meet with you uh, in answering your question. Thank you. um, Question from reflection. What are these sparkles under my skin? Many people say it's a crystalline DNA light body upgrade. Is this true? Um, when you begin to understand what we had mentioned previously, that the sensation that you're experiencing, these sparkles as you call them, are an extension of your higher vibrational awareness beginning to articulate itself into matter, the limitless self that has the capacity and capability to directly alter any facet of time, space, and matter, even to the point where you may restore a body or an organ or a limb or even a planet. You're still being attached to the sensation, but we would suggest again to go inward to the point from where these sparkles are originating. The you that observes them, the one that you are that observes these sparkles, move back to the observer of the sparkles, and then move back to the observer of the observer. And you will begin in degree to move your awareness into that awareness of that which we have been speaking. And it is not something that in terms of language we can communicate to you, but you will know in terms of your experience of it. Wow. Uh, I am is asking any message for me today for healing and health. Um, if you have just heard what we have said, then please understand you must align yourself to the vibrational conditions that you wish to see extended into your physical reality. If you are concerning yourself with health or disease, then you are polarized. You are, again, trying to understand how to alter physical conditions from a physical perception. But coming back to the awareness of your being, which is limitless in any idea which it chooses to focus upon, go back to that. And then the joy of your being, the vitality of your being, and allow that awareness to move into your form. Um, wow. Question. Thank you, Earth Angel, for that donation. I appreciate it. From Earth Angel, question. What is my life purpose? Dear one, if you understand that we understand that you are seeking to be untethered from that which you think you are. You ask us this question, for you seek its answer, and we cannot give you the answer but in word. But to give you such an answer in word would be, again, to entrap you to the interpretation of what your question limits you to. If you understand that your need for purpose, your need for limitless being, your need to be that which you are, is where your awareness needs to go. Move your awareness from the question into the position of that which is asking the question, and into the position of that which observes that which is asking the question. These slight steps in perception will begin to move you away from the uncertainty of the question into the awareness of the one that is asking. In fact, into the awareness of the one that is creating the question. And in that perspective, you begin to step away from the limitedness of the question into the liberation of the being. And when there is no question, but there is the being, you will find the freedom of that which you call your purpose, the purpose of your being. The purpose of your being is that of an expression of limitless being. You may choose to express yourself in any way, shape, or form you choose without limit, but you must remove and release yourself from the idea that you have some separation from the freedom that you have in being all that you can. Your question itself is connected to the very limitation that you hold in your own heart. Release yourself from that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Earth Angel. I think I got time for one more question. It's a question. When you find me looking around, I'm just reading the questions because that's where they are. A question from Lorenda. How can I best serve others? Any guidance? We find this question most useful as the closing point for this communication with you today. To find the meaning and value of what it is you are here to do would suggest that you are ready to assume that mantle. If you find yourself asking questions, then know that the answer is within you, but you are still entrapped in thinking that this answer must come from beyond you. You are without limit and expression, dear one. This you can know and feel. But if you try to understand what you know from what you think, you will be limited by what you think, for what you think and what you know are two very different levels of perception. What you know will not restrict you or limit you, but what you think can. Go into that place within you. Go into that place within you where you are truly liberated from the question, liberated to be unlimited, and ask yourself, whom shall I be? What will I be? What is my expression by choice? My expression by choice will design the expression of my world. Very fascinating. Yeah. When you are being that, what you are, like when I think of William, right, I look at all the thoughts and stuff that's in the William's consciousness, this body that's exist in this physical dimension, there are limits that I can get caught up in and have been caught up in a lot. But from the perspective of who you are being, you have a whole other range of expression that's not based in matter, but affects and influences matter. My guardian angel John, again about 9 months ago, told me that emotion is the fifth state of energy, and that emotion is energy in motion. And if you're in a vibration of love, if you're in a vibration, what is the vibration of service? And what is the vibration of service? um, the vibration of service is freedom. The vibration of service is freedom. Um, and for me personally, I want to just address that a little bit, Lorenda. Knowing that you are not your thoughts, that you are not a construct of this world, that this world does not define you, you are defining it, then your ability to serve others comes from within you. Um, they're saying to tell you that you know what is right to say and do, but you must know it before you speak it or do it. Ask yourself, do I know this to be right as an action? Do I know this to be right as a word? Do I know this to be right as a thought? Ask yourself these questions, and little by little you will come to serve as you came here to serve. But you must go from knowing, not from wondering, for in your essence you know the distinction between that which is true and that which is false. You know when you think, you know when you say, and you know when you do that which is true and that which is false, that which is right and that which is wrong. You know, dear one, how to make this distinction. Be mindful and aware before you speak, before you thought, before you do. Choose consciously and wisely from that place of light that is what you are, indeed what we all are. Wow. Thank you so much for that question. Again, thank you everybody for coming out today. This was a very special day for me in so many different ways, and I hope it had some meaning and value for all of you. So I'm going to wish you a wonderful and a joyful day. Much love. Bye for now.